Get right into our first game here.
Yeah.
We'll start with the big wins. The 49ers certainly had that big win. Big news. Maybe they have a new quarterback, but they certainly do have a new quarterback right now because Jimmy Garoppolo out for the season with that foot injury. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, say it.
That was impressive. Like I give a lot of credit to Brock Purdy for preparing himself to be able to come in and do that against a defense that's pretty good. He's got some talent in the secondary for sure.
Yeah, they put pressure on you. That's the biggest thing.
And for Kyle Shanahan, that coaching staff, to be able to set a system where a seventh-round rookie can come in with very little experience and do that. I don't think that happens many other places.
I would agree with that. I think it just speaks to Shanahan, the coach he is. He's very good at picking these low-level, like, good backup quarterbacks, right? To where whether it's the Nick Mullins, the C.J. Beathard's of the world, these guys, he's got an eye for these guys where he knows, like, hey, they're kind of junkies, and I know they're going to stay involved even when they're not playing, and they could probably teach the offense to the other guys after a few weeks and all that. And I think that's what Brock Purdy is, and I think we saw that. I'm with you. I mean, to be thrown into that situation, really kind of game of the year situation, and have a letdown, and oh shit, it's the Dolphins who, got a pretty good pass rush. They love the blitz. They play man-to-man in your face. It's not an easy game to be thrown into the fire with. He passed it with flying colors. He did pretty good. I don't know if you saw our highlight show. I had a lot of fun with Purdy last night. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah, he was.
What was your value? I forget. Yeah. Did we talk about him? Did you look at him?
A little bit, yeah. He was one
Iowa
of those,
State.
Right. I
don't know how many.
He wasn't like in our top 6, top 7.
Starter?
Yeah, he's played a lot of football.
Yeah.
Right? And in Iowa State, they kind of run about as pro offense as you can run in college football. So I think that's probably where Shanahan saw it and said, wait, this guy, he's used to being underneath the center. He does play action pass. He does all of that. You saw he's a pretty good athlete. His arm actually looked better than I expected it to. Like the first few throws, I was like, well, his arm's got a little more pop in it than I expected. Like I didn't think it was that different from Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not saying he's better than Garoppolo. I'm just saying, he looked like he belonged. And that was an impressive win by the 49ers. It really was. To weather that storm and then the emotions of it, that's something you got to think of too. And I'm like, oh, man, damn, like in the middle of a game, our quarterback's hurt. Ooh, it sounds like it's bad. I'm hearing some rumors on the sideline. Man, is that going to affect us? Super Bowl, all that. Those things go into your mind as a player. But they battled through, and, yeah, he was good. And I thought that was really one of the more I think one of the Purdy being great, being pretty good, and then the run game for the 49ers was legit yesterday. It's the one piece that's kind of been off a little bit, just their ability to run the ball with the running backs, not the trick plays, Ahmed? Yeah. And they kind of got that going yesterday, too. That was a huge help. And, they pushed the Dolphins around up front a little bit. But that was a big win for the 49ers. It really was to deal with that controversy and then to deal with that team, the Miami Dolphins. And for that defense, again, to play the way it did, pretty damn impressive.
So our good friend Der Biobacter. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Remember we learned how to pronounce it?
Yeah, I don't think you really got it yet.
I forgot how to pronounce it, so now we're just going to go with Der Biobacter from here on out. 2 questions for the 49ers. One, where do you see their ceiling for the 49ers for a playoff run after the injury to number 10? And number 2, isn't it remarkable that Mr. Irrelevant looks better in his rookie season than Trey Lance in his second year?
Yeah, well, I know what you're saying there at the end. He's more seasoned. It's just, you said it right. He played a lot of college football. Trey Lance, everybody's worry is he didn't play enough football, let alone he sat out a year for COVID, let alone, hey, he's more of a potential guy. Whoa, I see a lot of high-end things he can do, and we think we can groom it together and do that. Purdy, you knew what you were getting, right? It's gonna be Purdy good all the time, but it's never gonna be Purdy great. I think that's kind of what you say. Lance has a chance to be Purdy great. So there's that. Now, as far as the where do you see the ceiling for the 49ers? Yeah, that's the disappointing thing.
Before this injury, you thought they could win the Super Bowl.
100%. 100%. To me, it's, again, and I'll say it again, I just think them, and no disrespect to the Vikings, but them, the Eagles and Cowboys, to me, kind of stand out in the NFC. And they certainly can beat any one of those football teams. And I think they're the kind of team that can beat one of those great AFC teams and those quarterbacks in a Super Bowl, too. So, yes, now I don't know if I view them I got to see a little more. Do the 49ers a playoff team still with Purdy? Yes. Their team is amazing. The coaching staff's great. Shanahan will find more ways to help them out and do that, as we always talk about. But now I look at it and go, I don't feel Super Bowl with the 49ers. I mean, it's like, maybe they can win a game. Maybe they can win
playoff
two.
Game.
Yeah, maybe they can win two. But I just feel like, Brock Purdy and the 49ers right here off, base thought. Are they going to go in and beat the Eagles or the Cowboys in an NFC Championship game? I don't know. I guess I don't see that. And that's where it's disheartening, even for me personally, because it's my friend. And, I send Kyle a lot of nice text messages during the year. And, one of the last ones I just sent him, like a few days ago, was
Hope
like,
nothing happens to Jimmy.
it was a little bit like, you guys you're close. You're almost healthy. You can win the Super Bowl this year.
It's almost as bad,
right? I mean, I guess so. But damn,
he just writes back today. Thanks, Chris.
That hurt. That hurt.
Yeah, it's like when you touched Joe Burrow's
Where's
hand.
Burrow at right now? Tell me where I touched Burrow's hand. It wasn't so bad luck. Maybe it took a little while to just ruminate through his blood is what I'm starting to think it happened.
Or he had to wash his hand and then
wash his whole body. He finally body scrubbed and got the first layer of skin off.
Yeah. Speaking of your friend Kyle, as Pete notes here, this was a revenge weekend for some players out there, some coaches out there. And I don't know if it's revenge when one of your disciples moves on, but I'll tell you what, that Kyle Shanahan coaching tree is looking pretty good out there. Maybe it'll expand a little bit more with D'Amico Ryans coming up too.
You're right.
But Mike McDaniel, he beats his protege. And I think we have a picture. Do we have that picture there? So, if you're listening, here's what it is. It's after the game.
It's like they're on the way out of the handshake, so it's like a weird pose right there.
Yeah, it's like they've done a bro hug.
It's like they did like a shoulder tap there.
Yeah, and Kyle's still engaged in the shoulder tap.
Right.
And Mike is checking out, looking away.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird timing on that picture. But, what do you think that's... Where do you think? How good do you think this felt for Kyle? Where do you think that relationship stands? Because they were super close when they were with the 49ers.
Super close. And I think that this is kind of his right hand man and his buddy in a lot of ways. So I think there's a great mutual respect, and of course McDaniel's been around the Shanahan family from when Mike was coaching the Broncos. So he's not he's kind of an extension of their family that way. This is one where it's like, I want to kick the shit out of my brother here in this game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my brother to beat me one-on-one in the driveway, or I don't want him, to beat me in ping pong or whatever it is. You know how that is. Or, so I think that's where it's more at, let alone all the hype around McDaniel. That's where the competitive juices start going. He's probably going, what, fuck Tyreek Hill and Waddle, and he's running my plays, and everybody thinks he's a genius, right? That's at least what I would be saying in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was good that they kind of put a halt to that, and within that, put a halt to the storyline of the Dolphins a little bit in the offense.
Does it put a halt to it? So it was a bad game.
Put a halt to the, at least for now, just as far as like the steam that was rolling that way.
So good defense for the 49ers, maybe the best in the NFL. We've seen what they've done in the second half here lately. But the numbers for the Dolphins, as you can see right now, rush yards just 33. They did not convert a third down, 0 for 7.
No.
4 giveaways. That time of possession almost seems like a mistake. It's like they still play 60 minutes, right?
Yeah.
They had a time of possession of 19:26. It is an all-season worst for any team, Pete, right? That's the lowest for any? Oh, he's not sure, but I would almost venture a guess. It's got to be. But for sure for the Dolphins, Nick Bosa had 3 sacks out there.
Yeah. They were missing 2 of their tackles, so that was a problem.
So do you think was it the offensive line, or are there problems here that we just saw in this
there's no
game?
Problems. But I think, Tua didn't play good, period.
He did not.
The stats are going to say that it looked like he played okay. He missed a number of wide-open receivers, and some of those were that 0-7 on third down conversions. But throughout the game, I mean, again, that's the one thing that me and Tony Dungy, we were sitting there and I missed that throw. Oh, man, that guy was open. I mean, he was off target, let alone the interceptions he threw as well. It was one of those games where it looked like they had – the people were open. It looked like, though, Again, they took away some of the cheap completions. We didn't see any of the screens and things like that break loose. We didn't see a Tyreek Hill, throw into the flat, and all of a sudden he's running up the sidelines for 60 yards. So I think they took some of that away. But more than anything, I just felt like the 49ers' size and speed of their defense made Tua a little uncomfortable and jumpy in the pocket, right? Where, he's usually been smooth and comfortable all year, and yesterday I felt like he was like, oh, man, these guys are faster around me. Let me get it out. You know what I mean? A little bit of that. And that happens, too. And, that's where it can be a good learning experience for them as well. But, he was off throwing the football. He missed a lot of throws high throughout the day, had a few out routes towards the sidelines. He threw low, let alone, again, some of the turnovers, the fumble at the end of the game. So it was not his best performance. But, that was his first – I just want to make sure that was his first test against a upper echelon defense this year. He didn't get to play against the Jets, right? It's because he was hurt. So that he didn't get to see that kind of team, which is similar and fast and all that. I'm trying to look here just to pull up their schedule. Clearly, the Bills, he was fortunate. Remember, in the Bills, they were missing about 8 starters from their defense in week 3. So he's seen nothing like this all year. And hopefully this can be something he can build on, and this will help him when he plays the Bills in 2 weeks and the Patriots again and all that.
It's funny you bring up that Bills game
because
Pete has done the research, and it was that game that the Dolphins actually did have the worst time of possession of the season.
Remember
they
that?
had the
we
top
talked about that,
19 minutes, 20 seconds in that game, but they won that game.
Yes, they did.
19 minutes, 26 seconds yesterday. The Eagles have the third fewest minutes and seconds of time of possession. 19 minutes, 36 seconds.
Oh, the Washington game.
And a loss to Washington.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. And then, hey, listen, the game they won against Buffalo, they were fortunate to win that. And I think we've discussed that in depth there.
Yeah.
But Miami's scary no matter what because even when they're kind of controlled in the football game, just like we saw yesterday, it felt like, hey, 49ers in control, and then all of a sudden Hufanga decides to jump a crossing route and lets Tyreek Hill run a post over the top, and you go, oh, shit, there he is. Oh, damn, they scored. It was 3 plays, and here we go, and the game's close again. So they put tremendous pressure on you, and they do the same thing with the defensive side of the ball. Their team marries together the right way. It would be one of those yesterday a little bit where there was a few times, and I thought this was interesting with Shanahan too, is just that he knew the Dolphins were going to blitz. So instead of trying to pick it up and sort everything out, he just sent all 5 guys out, and he goes, let's see if one of those blitzers is disciplined to get off their blitz and go cover our running back or whatever. And he did a good job of that, I thought, a few times. And my thing with blitzing, too, sometimes with the young quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
That did jump out to me a few times yesterday. I go, Miami, why you're making the game easy on him. Oh, he's blitzing. He's in my face. I got to get it out. There's no decision to be made. Instead of like, hey, drop back, sit in the pocket. We got some good pass rushers. Read a coverage. Oh, no, you got to throw into this hole. And we got some linebackers and safeties who are fast and long, right?
You have a good defensive line, too.
Exactly
that
right.
Get some pressure.
I know, exactly right. So I didn't love that approach overall there by the Dolphins, but that's the way they play. The Dolphins are still one of the best teams in football, and Tua will bounce back.
I think another feather in the cap of Kyle Shanahan in this one, too, is, the thing on Mike McDaniel has been, he been undefeated in games where his starting quarterback finished the game? Wasn't that a stat out there, too?
Yeah, Tua's like 8-0, but he starts and finishes the game or something, right?
And so now Kyle can go, I don't even need to do that. My starter goes out, early in the game, and then Brock Purdy comes in, wins a good game. That
speaks to the culture of their team there.
Yes.
And, again, and Miami will get there, but that's Shanahan. And it's just there are some tough, crazy son of a bitches out there, for lack of a better way to say it. And I'm saying that in an endearing way because that's what they are. They don't mind the fight and the physicality, and we got to grind it out for 4 quarters and all that. And that's Shanahan and who he is, and that's why they're a damn good football team. But, man, I don't know if I can say they're a Super Bowl team right now. We're going to have to evaluate that as we go.
Thomas Gatz TV says, if Nick Bosa does not win the Big Butt of the Week award, Fareed will have words.
He's so good.
I will have words.
He's so good. Don't worry,
I'm
Tom.
not pressured into doing anything.
No, you don't. But we'll make sure we mention him during Big Butts so that we got to evaluate this fairly, okay?
Yeah, he may win, but I'm just not guaranteeing it.
Right. He's not guaranteeing it, but he's going to be in the running, that's for sure. And then, quite honestly, he's getting to the point where he's so good, he's in the running every week here. I mean, he's Defensive Player of the Year type of player. I mean, he really is. And, man, is he going to get paid after the year. Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my Unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.